Hola amigos, Todd here, Center Valley Customs. Back from Mexico. I was gone for 2 weeks on a work extravaganza. Wasn't much of an extravaganza actually. Work was not great, let's put it that way. Mexico itself, I was in Mexico City. Mexico City was fine, a lot of people. People were good. I don't know, didn't have any issues with anybody or anything or whatever. Just work was kind of... And then my wife flew down for a few days and we did some touristy things. Went to a pyramid. I couldn't tell you what pyramid it was because I can't pronounce it. And then just kind of did touristy stuff. So last video was all Taylor, which did a good job, I think. I don't know. Didn't get a lot of work done. But that's just me. I don't know. But whatever, he plowed away at this thing a little bit. But me, today, is this. So, it's exhaust day. Got myself a new creeper, padded, moving up in the world. Anyway, I got myself a eBay 3-inch exhaust kit here. Comes with a whole bunch of bends, 45s, U's, 90s. Comes with a whole bunch of straight pieces. But so that's kind of what I'm working on doing now, is trying to figure out how to get it to fit underneath here. Somebody decided it needed to be lower, so now I got to use jack stands for everything to get underneath there, hence my new creeper. But trying to get that figured out. A couple things under here. I don't know if you can see anything in here. Oh yeah, I guess so. I thought the lighting would be terrible. I did loom up all this wiring, so that all looks nice. Fixed some stuff in here. Fixed some wiring behind the alternator. I don't know who did that wiring, but they should be ashamed of themselves because it was terrible. Damn near had a heart attack. So I cleaned up a whole bunch of stuff in here, wiring wise, and even though it's all covered up, me knowing that it's correct or good makes me feel a lot better. Yesterday I actually worked on this a little bit, and I added a fuel pressure regulator. So you might think, why? It's a mechanical pump, but this pump is a high flow pump. I don't know really what that means as far as pressure. But when I would run this fuel pressure gauge, it goes up to 15 pounds and it would be maxed out. So, and I noticed that I was leaking fuel, and you probably can't even see this, but out of the throttle blade rod, I guess. And I thought it was like a bad seal or something. And after reading around online, they say if you have too much fuel pressure, even though it might not be coming out of the overflow, it could be dripping inside the carb and actually leaking out of there. So that's what made me think, well, a carb is usually 5 to 7 psi. That's what you need for a carburetor. And this was pushing 15. So I'm guessing that pressure was too high, and it was, even though it wasn't coming out of the overflow, it was still pushing past the needle and seat. So I put a fuel pressure regulator on it yesterday, and now I got it set to about 7 psi, and so far it hasn't been leaking at all, and no, that's good. It's a good thing for me, whatever. Great, good, great. So back to my exhaust issues. First thing I did or have done is I stuck I don't know if you'll be able to see any of this, but I stuck a long piece of 3-inch tubing through that hole. I got it like a 1/2-inch rubber spacer in there, and trying to figure out what I need to do for this collector that you can't see because it's too dark. But anyway, there's a collector. It's actually not a collector. Let me get up. There's actually not a collector on there right now, but the end of the header is right there. These are the collectors that it came with. The issue with these collectors is this is like a 2.5-inch pipe and not a 3-inch pipe. So the right thing would have been to take this piece with a hunk of 3-inch, or even if I would just went to the exhaust shop, and brought this and said, hey, I need this, but 3-inch tube, they would have just made this for me, probably pretty cheap and probably right away. But I am an idiot and didn't do that. So what my plan right now is, with that piece of straight tubing in there, I think all I got to do is cut that end off, and sound like the neighbor's dying or something. Anyway, I think all I really have to do is cut this flange off for the most part, maybe a little bit farther back, and then I'm going to stick this in there, other end, and weld this in there like that. Obviously I'll cut this down some, but I'll cut this down, shove this in here, bing bam, weld that, and have a new collector. So that's where I'm at. Should be fairly easy. I don't exactly know how I'm going to hang this tubing quite yet. I did buy an assortment of exhaust clamps and hangers and whatever else, which, get my microphone fixed here. I don't know if you've bought exhaust stuff lately, but those hangers and those clamps are not cheap. They're like, I want to say the clamps were like $6 or $7 a piece, and those hangers were like 12 or 13 bucks a piece. So, and of course, the store only has 1, 2 maybe, so you gotta drive around and bounce from store to store before you can find all the stuff you need. And they don't even have all. I had like 3 different style hangers, 4 different brand exhaust clamps, and whatever. Most of this I'm going to weld together, but I obviously do want some clamps so I can pull it all apart. As far as mufflers go, like I said in one of the other videos, I got a set of Delta Flowmaster 50s, Flowmaster Delta 50s or whatever. They were Taylor's, not no more. I took them. They're mine now. I did try to go buy a set of Flowmaster Super 44s, which would have been louder than I wanted, but they were not what I expected them to be. Marketplace buy. And they were a 3-inch in, dual out. I don't need dual out, so I just want a single 3-inch out. So, that's that. Oh, yesterday I threw this 5.3 back together. The only hardware in this motor that is tight are 2 head bolts on each side and all the oil pan bolts. So that took me like a half hour to throw together. So like I said, I don't know when I plan on touching that, but for now it's back together loosely and deal with that later. Unless somebody's interested in it, then $1,500 fresh, ran good, low miles, ran when parked. Trust me, I know. It's not a lie. Actually, it probably did run when it parked. Don't run now though. So yeah, I don't know. Let's get plugging away on this exhaust stuff. Taylor should be here actually probably pretty soon, and start plugging away. Oh, look at who decided to show up once again. Dude's been extremely needy today. Will not leave me alone. Follows me everywhere. Okay, let's get some exhaust stuff done. All right, I got one of these collectors made. Doesn't look the best, but it is what it is. I had to kind of get the ball centered on the header and angle this pipe in so I can get away from the frame a little bit, but should work. I'm gonna probably stick this side in, driver's side, and get it all bolted up. Maybe, I don't know if I want to weld anything tight yet, but I'll get this side all tacked up. Troy Boy's here. Taylor's inside making himself a drink, watching a hockey ball game. So those guys are doing whatever they're doing while I'm trying to do this. But keep plugging away. Well, this is the driver's side, bolted up. Comes down, follows the pipe all the way down to the hole. Well, short of the hole because I need to put another piece on there. This side is tricky. On this side, I was able to just kind of cheat this pipe over and down, straight down through. This side is not as easy. So again, on this side, I have this tubing going into my hole, which I had a spacer in there that fell out. But then this pipe, or the header I should say, comes down more level, I guess you'd call it. It doesn't come like straight down and over. It comes down more level. And where my exhaust that goes to the back is actually needs to kind of do a little jog like this. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to angle this enough and cheat it like I did on this side. I might have to, you know, use two bends, come down maybe a little bit on an angle, come down maybe a little bit on an angle, and then grab another piece of tube and cut it. I might be able to even pie cut that, honestly, but I don't know. It's just cut a little, check it, 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 and it makes it extremely difficult to do this when you don't have a lift. Honestly, I probably should have done this while I had it all jacked up, still sitting on the other side of the garage, but it is what it is. It's hard to record this, like I said, because I'm not on the lift and I can't get the camera anywhere that works. So I'm probably going to just try to get this part knocked out tonight. And then tomorrow we'll do the mufflers and probably record more of that, because this is a nightmare. I don't want to say nightmare, but it's just a lot of in and out, in and out, in and out. So, alright, well, maybe I'll set up a time lapse if I can get this camera set up. If not, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Alright, I think I actually got this to work. I think anyways. For the record, I'm not necessarily proud of this. I probably should have used multiple bends, but if this is easier, this is easier. There are June bugs flying all over the place, and they are frickin' disgusting. They are the most disgusting creature I've ever seen in my life. And I swear, if they land on me, you're gonna hear a grown man scream. Frickin' disgusting. Nasty things. Oh no, I lost my nut. Maybe that is how I did it. Big gap in there. I think that should work like that. Should try to. Let's knock this down. I think that's going to work. I think what I might do now, not right, well, maybe I'll do it tomorrow, but this hangs way down, so I think I might cut this and take an inch out of this. If not more, honestly. This needs to come up. But if I bring this up, it's going to bring it in, which might be okay, actually. Alright, this needs a little more work. It hangs down way too low. I'd like it to be at least as high as the other side. I'm going to have to cut this and bring this up an inch. Take an inch or so out of here. If not 2 inches out of here. Well, another day, another dollar. Well, spent. We ain't making money here, trust me. But I got just a 4-foot section of 3-inch pipe on there. And it wouldn't be right not to start it just to see what it sounds like. So, here we go. Here we go. Sounds pretty badass, honestly. It's way too loud, but it sounds good. Yeah, race car stuff. All right, I think I'm going to lower this down and turn it around. Although the box is 15 feet long, so I don't even know if I'm going to be able to get it that far into the garage. So maybe I'd be better off just jacking the back up right where it's at, honestly. Putting it on jack stands. Alright, I'm going to do that. I'm just going to jack the back up, I think. Put it on jack stands so we can see where and if the mufflers are going to fit. Because, honestly, I don't know that there's enough room in there for those mufflers. Might end up having to go with some glass packs. I'd prefer not to put the mufflers under the cab, just for heat and stuff. I'd prefer to have them behind the cab, under the box, but the muffler is this long and we got about this much room to work with. So, I don't know, jack the back up and see what we got to work with. Alright, so I got the chuck jacked up under here. I got this downpipe, header, collector, dealer-mo-bob all connected here. This is all welded up. I did the other side, but it's laying over there on the floor. That needs to get bolted up. But what I'm dealing with now is this is the area I want to try to put my muffler. So what my plan is I cut this pipe short, and there's a connector here, whatever, slide fit, slip fit, whatever you want to call it. I think I'm going to clamp this one so that on this side, I already got a mark here. That's the farthest my muffler is going to go in. So I'm going to weld this pipe, once I cut this wherever here, into the muffler, and then this piece will be part of the muffler. That way, if I want to take this apart, I can just loosen this clamp, loosen the header up there, and then drop that end, and this should come apart here. And I'm going to put a, right here, I have a tab somewhere, right here. This was part of an exhaust hanger that had a rubber piece on the top, whatever. I took that off. I'm actually going to put this way, put this on here, and weld this to this cross member. So it'll hold this pipe up and give me clearance within this hole. So that is my plan now. So I'm going to cut this piece and smash it into one of those mufflers. Those mufflers obviously are used mufflers, so they had clamps on the inlet and outlet, and it took me probably an hour to try to get the existing pipe out of there with a Z-shaped sawzall blade and whatever. So, and plus they were tack welded and everything else. So that was a nightmare, just trying to get the pipes out of those mufflers. So, but all in all, I probably should have bought brand new mufflers. This would have went a lot smoother, because now the inlet and outlet on that muffler are all smashed, and it's harder than hell trying to get a piece of tubing in. I do have an exhaust expander, but it's a cheap one, and it doesn't seem to do much of anything. So anyway, pull this piece off, cut it down, smash it in a muffler, weld it up tight, and go from there. All right, so this is what I'd come up with. Nothing is welded in yet or clamped in or anything, but because I'm so curious, I want to know how it sounds. So everything's just kind of stuck on here for now. We'll give her a fire and see how not loud it's going to be. Hopefully it's still got a good tone, but not screaming loud. So all right, let's see how this thing sounds. Ugh. Not terrible.
Back here.
Not bad. Nice and quiet up here. sounds pretty good, actually. Kind of like it. All right, I'm gonna pull everything off, weld it all up, clamp it all up, put some hangers on, go from there. Well, bad boy Troy and I had to run and get a lunch because my wife was gone, so no food. Anyway, she should have brought us some supplies that I asked her to bring us. Hopefully it should be here somewheres. That's nice. Those are not the supplies I was looking for. Maybe over here. Those, there's no supplies in there either. If you've ever seen a Tesla full of garbage, this would be the one. So I don't know where those supplies are. Should take it all in the house. Huh. Alright, well, I guess these supplies are going to have to work for now. So I got this muffler back up in here. I'm going to put a clamp on this to hold it. Oh, is this the 2 3/4? No. What the devil? Alright, clean this up a bit. Make sure you lay on something. Okay, now we'll take this clamp thing. I got this centered in here as best I can. Pipe isn't really going through here exactly straight, but should be all right. So, I don't know. Center that with the pipe. So, push it against this. I'm going to have to leave a little gappage. No big deal. Something like that. Make sure you get it where you want it, and then put your grounds and everything on. Oh, that's hot. Okay. Couple tacks. Make sure you weld it tight before you look at anything. Check it. Okay. Okay, that should hold. think. This will go on here like so. Make sure we do this when it's super hot. Ouch, hot. I think I'm just crushing the pipe at this point. Okay, there's that. Solid. Beautiful. Now, do the other side. All right. This one hangs a little lower than that one, but it should be okay. Shouldn't need those anymore. Now let's just stack these tailpipes on and should be done. That ain't going nowhere. All right, I need this. Here's a better view of the exhaust. Just comes up through the hole, just a 90 out. I cut the exhaust tube just before my lower link, just in case if it extends or whatever, doesn't hit it, but I think it turned out damn good, even though there's some shady welding in there, and the collector portion of it isn't necessarily ideal, but luckily that clamp that clamps the collector to the header hides a lot of that, so nobody will even know. Well, there it is. Exhaust. Just sneaking out. Yeah, I got to fix that belt squeal. Sounds good though. Nope, just in the middle. All right, that's going to do it for this video. A lot of time lapse, probably not a lot of actual footage, because in, out, in, out, in, out, and being on the floor like a poor person instead of having a nice lift. But 3-inch exhaust, Delta Flow 50 Flowmasters. Thank you to Taylor for giving me your mufflers non-voluntarily. So now I owe him a set of mufflers because I'm not taking those off. But that's it. Appreciate you watching. Like, subscribe, all that garbage. Catch you on the next one.